Hi everyone, welcome back to Bandit Magic. Got a really fun video for you guys today. We're doing some standard constructed. Lorwyn Eclipsed just came down, and the first thing that I was thinking is, okay, is there anything fun that I want to try? And a mechanic that I like a lot is the Vivid mechanic, which sort of pays you off for having multiple colors of one permanent, or any single permanent. So there are some fun Vivid cards. Two of the more fun ones are actually common cards, which is kind of crazy. So Wildvine Pummeler is a 7 mana 6/5 with Reach and Trample that says Vivid. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each color among permanents you control. So what does that mean? That means if I have all 5 colors of mana on the board in the form of permanents, my Pummeler is 2 mana. So I can get a 2 mana 6/5 with Reach and Trample. Pretty good, right? Rhyme Chill says the same thing. It gets discounted. So 2 mana spell that stuns 2 things, draws a card. Pretty good. Kith Keeper makes 5 1/1s. Okay, pretty good. Shine Striker draws 5 cards if I have all colors. Okay, pretty good. These 2 spells can't be discounted though. Now this is where it gets good. Explosive Prodigy, 2 mana 1/1 ETB does X damage where X is the number of a color permanents you control. So enters, does 5 damage, pretty much gets rid of any creature in standard. Now, the big problem is, okay, how do I get 5 colors of mana on to the board? Here is the solution. Let me introduce you to Leyline of the Guildpact. It is a 4 mana enchantment of all, it's a hybrid of all the green combinations, so all 10 colors of mana, sorry, all 5 colors of mana. And this says, if this card is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. And then it says each non-land permanent you control is all colors. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So that means you can start the game with Leyline of the Guildpact on the battlefield, which gives you immediately all 5 colors, meaning on turn 2 you can play an Explosive Prodigy, pretty much getting rid of anything on their side of the board. You can play a Bloom Tender, giving you access to 8 mana when you untap on turn 3, giving you a 6/5 Reach Trampler on turn 2, and giving you just access to all the other things. So I kind of just added a few Vivid things. I have a Squawk Roaster on here. Don't know how good it actually is. We're going to find out. Sonar is pretty good. Pretty much you look at the top X cards. You reveal cards from the top until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of color permanents you control, and then for each of those colors you can exile them to play them that turn. So pretty good. Other things that are good, we have 1 copy of Legend of Kyoshi here. That's because most of the time we're going to have a 6/5 out there, so we're going to play this, draw 6 cards. Pretty good. We have 1 copy of Doppelgang. That's because with all the mana that we have available to us via Bloom Tender, we're able to cast a Doppelgang that is X equals 2 on turn 3, which pretty much gives us a lot of things there. We have 2 Wan Shi Tongs. Similar concept, having a Bloom Tender here, casting a Wan Shi Tong where X equals 5 on turn 3 while flashing it in is going to end games pretty quickly. We have 4 copies of Spell Snare. Obviously this deck is in a standard where Monument of Remembrance is running wild, so just Spell Snare pretty much hoses that entire deck. And then we have 1 Phantom Interference. The reason we run Phantom Interference is because with all the mana that we're going to have available, it's very possible that we can cast this with all its spree costs included. So, you know, countering a spell on turn 3 while also making a 2/2 is going to be pretty good for us. And then the Mist Breath Elder is going to be very good in this deck. We only run 2 of them because any more than 2, I feel like it kind of gets out of hand. But the reason we have this here is because it'll bounce our prodigies, meaning we have unlimited removal as long as we get to keep the Elder on the board. So this is the 5-color Vivid deck. Been playing it a little bit off stream when I'm not recording, and it's running okay. We have the mana base is whatever. I'm not really a big mana base guy. We have a Fountain Port because it's the cheapest way to make tokens, as well as Bossing Say, once again, because it's the cheapest way to make tokens. Fountain Port is actually not that bad in this deck because most of the time we're going to have a Leyline of the Guildpact on the board, meaning that our Fountain Port will tap for 1 color of any type. And then fun fact, Fabled Passage, if you have Leyline of the Guildpact, Fabled Passage will also just tap for mana. You don't even need to crack it. So some pretty cool stuff here. And then even if we don't start with this, you know, we can get to 4 mana pretty easily. We just need green, 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 green to play this, and then it unlocks our whole deck. The biggest problem with this deck is Boomerang Tactics. We'll return this to our hand. So, you know, if there are games where we have this on the board and we're going second against the blue-red Is It Lessons deck, they can just bounce this back to our hand, which will be a bit of an inconvenience. But let's get into the games. Let's see how this goes. All right. We are in gold lobbies here in ranked, and here we go. We have this is a pretty good hand here. We have a guild pack to start. We're on to draw. I would like to see like a prodigy drawn. Here I think we'll just play a Temple Garden tapped, since we have no turn 1 play. And a turn 2, depending on what we draw, we'll either play the Bloom Tender or the Pummeler. Oh, a Duress. Okay. Well, they're not going to be able to discard anything. Hate to break it to them. And there's another guild pack. Okay. Don't think we need another guild pack. I think we'll just do this. And opponent's probably freaking out here. Alright. So we don't really have a big spell to cast, so I think we'll just play our Pummelers. And that's a 2 mana 6/5 with Trample. Here you go, opponent. And then next turn we're looking at a Prodigy would be really good. We can go Elder and Prodigy. Remove one of their creatures. We have a second Pummeler in hand, so even if they remove our Pummeler, we'll be okay. They're playing black, so our enchantment should be good to stay here. So we should be set up for the rest of the game as far as Vivid goes. Yeah, opponent gets rid of the Temple Garden. That's okay with me. Probably better for them to get rid of the Fountain Port. Not sure why they went for the Temple Garden there. Yeah, it's an interesting move there from the opponent. There's a Prodigy. That's exactly what we're looking for. Let's attack first. See if they offer any trades. Or, I mean, if they want to chump. And now we just dominate the game from here. Because we'll get to bounce the Prodigy back to our hand at the start of our turn. Meaning, no matter what creature they play, most likely we'll be able to remove it. Not a lot of creatures, especially early game, have more than 6 toughness. And even if they spend mana to remove the Pummeler here, that's totally okay with us. We'll still have a 3/3 attacking them with a second Pummeler. We just have so many options here. I think this is a... I don't think I figured out this deck entirely. I think this deck is still missing some vital pieces to be competitive, but I do think it's fun. And if you have the wild cards, I wouldn't recommend spending the wild cards. Oh, okay. What did he get rid of? Pummelers. Yeah, they're scared of the Pummeler, huh? That is okay with me. I think we're going to play the Prodigy anyways, just so that we can... we have a bounce target for our Elder next turn. And I think we'll keep a Rhyme Chill in hand. That way if they play anything, we can just stun it, draw cards. Anyways, I already had a lot of these cards here. I had, I think, maybe 2 copies of the guild pack, so spending 2 rare wild cards was okay with me. But I think if you're low on wild cards, I would not recommend using your wild cards for this. And we'll go ahead and stun this down, draw a card. There's a second Prodigy. And you could just see this deck really gets going here. And here we'll go Bloom Tender, because if we still need to close out the game, casting a really expensive Wan Shi Tong will be a good way to close it out. We'll have access to 9 mana next turn, so we can cast this for X = 7. So, I mean, you can see, I think I constructed a pretty decent deck here. Let's go to the next deck game and see how well it does there as well. Next game here. Really would love to match up against the Is It Lessons deck. That's really what we're trying to find out if this deck can play well against. Here is a pretty good example of a hand you don't keep. We have a Spell Snare, but because we're going first, it's actually going to do a whole lot of nothing. In addition to, we also don't have any green or red, so we just mulligan this hand here. And now here, this is not that much better. We're gonna have to keep this because, you know, we got spells and lands, so I think we just keep this. But it's kind of looking pretty rough for us here. We'll get to... Actually, we will not get to Bloom Tender on turn 2. That's a bit of a misplay on my end there. So we'll be missing out on a Squawk Roaster ahead of curve there because of me. I was thinking I could spare the life there, but... Alright, so here we have a pretty standard Badger Mole Cub green deck, which, my goodness gracious, it is about to destroy us next turn, isn't it? We play our 2 mana mana dork that's not gonna do a lot here. And let's see what they play. They have access to like a lot. 3, 6, 9, like 10 mana. Looks like they're missing the good stuff from their hand though. Yeah, sure, we'll take whatever that is. 7, we'll take 7 there. Okay, I think here we'll just go get another color. Maybe white is a good one to get here. And we'll play our 1/4 double striker, which blocks well on this board. And here we're doing it the old school way. Now this just feels like a draft deck, which is probably not going to beat a meta deck that we're facing like this. But who knows? If opponent doesn't have good stuff in hand, you know, we might be okay here. We might just survive. We might just survive. We can play. We can hard cast Leyline of the guild pack if we're able to draw it here. All right, a third Badger Mole Cub has hit the board, and we're looking at a lot of creatures here. Okay, and now this is gonna be it for us. They're gonna be able to find their best creature and cast it with the amount of mana they have. And there's the Behemoth. Yep. Let's see how much damage we're taking here. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll for sure do it. All right, let's go to the next game. See if we can have a better result. Next game here. So the difficulty about making a good leyline deck is that, right, you know it's gonna be good when you start the game with it. That's a given, right? You're getting to cast a, you know, usually a 4 mana spell for free. You do that in any game of Magic, you're gonna have a pretty high advantage. The difficulty is building the deck in a way that it's still playable even if you don't have it in your opening hand. So that's pretty difficult. Alright, here we're actually not going to play Bloom Tender because there's no point to tap out against whatever shenanigans they're about to do. Odds are is they might play a Badger Mole Cub, so I'm more interested in spell snaring the Badger Mole Cub than playing our Bloom Tender. They can also, we can also Rhyme Chill, which might not be a bad play depending on what they play. If they play another Dork, we can Rhyme Chill. Based off the land, I'm guessing they're playing like an Ouroboros deck. So we'll see what opponent does here. They'll have access to 3 mana. And there's the 3 mana. Yeah, sure. So I'm wondering if I want to Rhyme Chill now. Probably more interested in Rhyme Chilling before their combat phase. So I think I'm actually going to do nothing, which is a little cringe. I know, it's a little cringe. But now we can hold up both Spell Snare and Rhyme Chill. So we'll avoid the damage from whatever they do here, especially if they get a lot of counters on the Hydra. And we'll be able to snuff out a 2 mana spell if they have one. Odds are they'll have a 2 mana spell here. Nope. Maybe now they'll have a 2 mana spell? There it is. Great. There's always one. There's always one. And now they're going to play their land. They're definitely holding the land. That's why they played the Bristly Bill first. The question is it a Fabled Passage or a basic land? And here we'll be able to buy ourselves a good amount of time with this Rhyme Chill before things get ugly. Yep, there's a Paramorphic Expanse. We'll let them, well, I guess they're not going to. Alright, so we got a little bit of time before things get ugly. There's a Doppelgang. So here we can go double Bloom Tender, and then we can just cast a ginormous Doppelgang. For each of X target permanents. Okay. So we're about to find out something here. This might be a really fun interaction. It could also really fail. We're going to copy their Hydra, which comes in as a 0/0, which will die immediately, but we're also going to be making a ton of lands. Meaning that maybe we'll get the counters before the Hydra can die. We're going to see. We might even go into full control for that. Alright. So we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have access to 15 mana. So I think we can cast this for 4. 4, 8, 12, 14. Yeah, sounds about right to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go into full control here. So we want to make a... Definitely want to make a Hydra. Definitely want to make a Fabled Passage, because we'll be able to crack it. Probably want to make a Chocobo. And I don't really want to make a Tifa, because we won't be able to keep it around. Probably just a second Chocobo here. And let's see what happens here. Ready for a moment of truth? This is going to be crazy. It might break my computer. Alright, opponent is gonna maybe crack their Terramorphic Expanse in response. Let's see. Come on, opponent. Let's watch the magic. Please don't roll me. Okay, great. They come in as 1/1s here. Alright, so we can just resolve all of this. And we have 5 Fabled Passages. Wow. Sounds like Terminator out here. Your go, opponent. I'm just gonna hold back my Hydras here. Alright. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I have a pretty good feeling, doesn't matter what they're doing. I think we got this in the bag. So you see, that's why we have one copy of Doppelgang and why we have Bloom Tenders in there, because Bloom Tenders gives you really good access to a big Doppelgang spell. So that's another one here. Let's see if we can get some more fun games. Alright, looking to pop off. Been experimenting. It definitely seems like this deck is not very good without the ley line. So we just might be in a situation where we mulligan until we find the ley line. There we go. That's a ley line. And you're going to see the difference, night and day difference, how much better this deck is with a ley land in hand. And here we'll probably mulligan a land. Of course, we run a pretty huge risk of, if they're playing blue, which we don't know because we're going first, they can Boomerang Basics this back to our hand, and then we're looking bad. We're looking real bad. Especially with this mana base. But let's go ahead and keep this. And we could return the Elder. Elder's not doing much in this hand. Excuse me, but I always think about drawing into the Prodigy, which is why I want to keep that. But it's okay. We'll go ahead and put that at the bottom here. And hopefully opponent is not playing blue. Because it's going to be in a world of hurt very soon. Play a passage first. That way if they do remove the guild pack somehow, we can sacrifice it and go get a land that we need. Actually, there is no if. If they find a way to remove this on turn 1, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. It's a instant concede. That's an escape concede. They're playing green. All right, great, awesome, awesome opponent. I think we're gonna crack this anyways. I don't think I want to draw lands here. I think we're trying to top deck some other stuff. There's a Phantom Interference. Alright, 2 mana, 6/5. How's that for fast mana, opponent? Go ahead, play your little Badger-Mole Cub. Followed by another Badger-Mole Cub. It's gonna be hard to get around my 6/5 Trampler. No Bloom Tender, but this is where Bloom Tender would be good, right? Like if we had played a Bloom Tender on turn 2, we'd have access to like a nice little Phantom Interference. Alright, Esper Origins. Notably not into Esper colors. What are you doing, Final Fantasy? Alright, there is a Spell Snare, which is really good for us here, because we'll get to play our second Pummeler, as well as hold up Spell Snare. So, now they're looking really rough. Yep, there is a concede. I like it. I like it a lot. I want more games like that, please. Alright, let's hope to open another Guild Pact here. Now this is an interesting hand, right? We could always... no, I don't think we can keep this. I thought about it, but I don't think so. And you know what? Let's just keep mulliganing until we get a Guild Pact. Let's see how good this strategy works. So here we have a lot of good stuff. I think we definitely have to keep 2 lands. Throw away the Stomping Ground to spare our life. Probably the Spell Snare. And let's see if we can win with this, with 2 mulligans here. Okay, I couldn't remember where we were in terms of turn order. I think I definitely would have kept the Spell Snare if I remembered that we were on the draw here. Yeah, so we're gonna pay the price a little bit, but it's gonna be okay. And I think we're actually gonna Rhyme Chill. These are not really targets I want to hit with the Prodigy. If they play a Sephiroth, that's maybe more along the lines of the stuff we want to do. And this is good bait too. Yep, that's what I thought. Now that your creatures are tapped down, they're definitely going to want to sacrifice them. Which is exactly what we want, because we want the Sephiroth out there so that we can do one of these. Now, unfortunately, we're missing land drops. Otherwise, I think we'd be doing okay. A Bloom Tender would be really good here. A Bloom Tender would save our mana problems. And it looks like they don't have a second Sephiroth, so this is good for us. But we gotta find some answers quickly. Even an Elder would spare us a lot of trouble. They kept something on top, so that's bad. That's probably another Sephiroth. Alright, there's a land. Which will let us play Wan Shi Tong for where X equals 1, which is better than nothing. So we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll have a 2/2 that we can put on the board there. Alright, there's the attacks with all. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this now. Hopefully we find a Bloom Tender or some lands. Oh, we don't even get to draw a card. I forgot, because it's rounded down. And I don't think I want to get rid of the Prodigy in case we top deck like an Elder. So I think we'll just pass it there. Bit of a misplay putting the Wan Shi Tong into danger there potentially. Alright, things are looking scary for us. There's a Fountain Port. She doesn't really do anything for us. Let's just play a second Guild Pact, which means nothing to a guy like me. I think best thing we can do here is make a 1/1 fish, which will help us block the Gorehounds. At the cost of a life. And I could have done that instant speed. I'm not sure why I did it there. I think I just was overwhelmed by the options and decided to do that. That's obviously something you do at instant speed. If you're watching at home, don't do what I just did. It's very late right now at the time that I'm recording this. Thinking, it's okay, I believe you. I'm just trying to stay alive. I don't think I will stay alive. A Kith Keeper would be huge for us. Shrines. These cards are just so expensive, man. 7 mana and 6 mana. They do feel just a little bit too slow. I mean, obviously with a Bloom Tender, it's a lot easier to get them out. But without the Bloom Tenders, it's kind of tough. You're looking for a few cards in this deck to really do the thing. Alright, so opponent gets rid of our Wan Shitong. They'll drain us for 1. And then a big swing here, probably. Something like a board wipe might be good in a deck like this. I think I just have to find the right board wipe. Probably fixing the mana base is probably a good idea too. Okay, I think we just block Sephiroth here and take 2. And I think this is kind of it for us. Yeah, there's a Kyoshi. So we'll just go ahead and play a second guild pack and say good game. And we'll concede. Alright, another game here. I think additions that I would make to this deck so far, after having it played a little bit more now, is... I don't know, you're really looking for a 2-card combo. I feel like once you get these 2 cards, everything else is gonna be okay. But you're looking for... Here, I think we'll return one of the Rhyme Chills. You're looking for the guild pack, obviously. Even if you can't... Even if you don't have it in your opening hand, I think just finding the guild pack is good. And you're looking for your Bloom Tenders. I think if you have those 2 cards, you're going to be okay. Because this is just green, 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 as far as an enchantment goes. So even if you can have your Bloom Tender... Alright, opponent is doing a lot of things here. Don't like it, but you're going to see the power of the Prodigy. They're investing a ton into this Scavenger, and we're going to be able to remove it pretty quickly here. Assuming we play the correct land. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'd maybe add some cards that let you find those Bloom Tenders, that let you find a guild pack. Because even a late guild pack will save everything you're doing. Yeah, there's a Sheltered by Ghost. Not surprised. They're going to have some trouble getting around our 6/5 Trampler, though. I tell you that much. And this is what? Ward 2. Ward 2 is a lot this early in the game. And now the Sheltered by Ghost, it hits just anything, huh? If they have a second one, now we're in huge trouble. Sorry, thankfully no second shelter there. Good news is if we can find a way to get rid of this guy, we'll get another ETB on our Explosive Prodigy. Featherflight. Sure. Alright. We have seen everything they have to offer. Except for whatever they just drew. Oh, there's a Bloom Tender. That's incredible news for a guy like me. Let's go ahead and attack. Really doubt they'll double block here. And we can't quite Rhyme Chill because of the ward, of course. But with a Bloom Tender, we'll definitely be able to play Kith Keeper, which will be nice. There's an Abandoned Air Temple. It's pretty good. Might have been in our best interest to hold back our pummeler there. I think this next turn we might just do that. Spell Snare is pretty good with this deck here. Okay, so we can go ahead and play our Kith Keeper. But we probably won't block with it. But 5/1/1 sure feels good. And then we also have a Spell Snare. And we can give this +6/+0 if we tap the Bloom Tender as well. So we're looking at a 9/3 in the air. Opponent reading my cards, realizing Bloom Tender is pretty good. Yeah, I agree, opponent. It's a really good card. Also, good synergy here. We can start sacrificing some Kithkins to draw cards. Alright, so there are the counters. And no attacks. Okay, so we can Rhyme Chill to get through for an attack. The problem is Ward 2 is quite a lot, and this targets 2. So we're looking at 4 mana. We're looking at... Well, you know what? I forgot we have a Bloom Tender. It's actually totally okay. So we'll go ahead and do this. It's actually better if we pay through. There we go. Great. Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if we were actually gonna get it done there, but hey, we'll take a concede there. All right. All right. Let's do one more game. Let's see if we can get one more good game, and I think we'll call it. All right. Trying to end on a win here, which will be hard if we don't get the stuff we want. All right, here I think we'll just keep this. And we'll... Honestly, this is going to be kind of crazy, but I think we're going to... No. We'll bottom the Pummeler, for sure. But we're going second here, so Spell Snare has a good potential to do some good stuff here. Love it. It just as the good Lord intended there. We do have a Temple Garden here. We can go into a Bloom Tender, which will let us play a Prodigy for 2 damage, which is not the end of the world. That'll get a lot of things. Into the Flood Maw, sure. That's totally okay with me, opponent. Flash it in, huh? I smell a Quench. You're feeling quenchy, aren't you? Feeling very quenchy, aren't you? Well, opponent, you got me. I'm gonna play around your quench. We could always double spell next turn and remove something like that. Yep, that's okay with me. And now you're in a lot of trouble. Alright, we're gonna need red mana here. So we'll go Bloom Tender first, that's important. Prodigy second. What do you have? What are you doing here? Spell Snare, huh? Although the Bloom Tender resolved pretty quickly. Unless they're just really good at pressing spacebar there. What do you have, opponent? Flood Maw, okay, yep. Good stuff, I gotta give it to you. A second Flood Maw. Alright, they don't have a lot of threats though, so I'm totally at peace just doing what we're doing here. Yeah, I think we just do this. We'll have 3 mana. We'll tapped. And now we have enough for a Rhyme Chill. Scary. take 5 here. There's a guild pack. Let's play this. Play the guild pack. And it's tempting to play the Rhyme Chill now, because if we draw something, we have 5 mana available to us. So I think we're just going to have to do that. And we'll tap down the Ouroboros and the... well, the Weaver is not a very good target because it can untap, so I think we'll just do the Pollinator here. And it's possible that your last card is a 3rd copy of the Flood Maw. Spell Pierce. Ah. Opponent. What you don't know is that I can play around your Spell Pierce and then cast my 6/5 and then hit you for 1. Your go. Alright, we're really looking for like a Legend of Kyoshi or a Shrine Striker here. How about neither of those? Definitely should have cracked the Fabled Passage there to defend the deck a little bit. Let's do that now before I forget to do that later. Go find a... We actually don't even have a forest in play. Go find a forest. Play starting town here. And I think we'll just pass the turn, which is not really what I want to do. And with no way to deal with this Ouroboros, I think we're in a lot of trouble here. So let's make a blocker here. We'd rather pay 1 life than to take 9 damage. And we could take 8. Oh, I want to keep the Bloom Tender in case we draw like a Doppelgang. Doppelgang could save us here. But I think we'll just throw these 2 in front and we'll take 8. Alright, Prodigy. A little bit late for you, Mr. Prodigy. Just a little bit late for you. And I guess we hold the Prodigy? No, you know what? We play the Prodigy, right? Because we get to... We'll get 1 more untap. And we can always Doppelgang the Prodigy, which will be really, really good for us. So we just play it here. That's our only out. That is our only out. Alright. It's a lot of counters. Thankfully, no trample. Alright. So, once again, we'll make a fish. And we'll throw the Pummeler, we'll throw the Bloom Tender, and we'll throw the fish. Because our only way out of this is a Doppelganger. No, you know what? I don't even think the Prodigy saves us anymore. I think our only way out of this is having a 5 extra mana for the Bloom Tender and then just making a bunch of Ouroboros. No Doppelgang. Well, opponent, I'll do you the honors. Oh, it doesn't let me... Oh. I thought it would let me do it. I swear you used to be able to shock in the land to end the turn. Well, I'll do this then. One way or another, I'm going to get there. Arena. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We'll take you through the deck one last time here. This is 5-color Vivid. And it went alright. I think we pretty much went 500. Maybe a little worse than that. Maybe 3 wins, 3 losses, something like that. It's a fun deck. It's a fun deck. I think there's definitely some potential, right? Leyline is just pretty good. It might even be worth, I don't know, there is a world where maybe you play all of the ley lines, not necessarily because they're good in this deck, but just because these will give you an extra permanent on the battlefield to start the game, which will make your Vivids better, right? And some of these might be pretty relevant. So I think I'm gonna do that next. I think I'm gonna start working on like a complete, like a full leyline deck, just to make our Vivid stuff better. And we'll see how that goes, because it'll definitely make the Bloom Tenders better, even if you don't start with Guild Pact on the battlefield. So yeah, maybe we'll try a little bit of that. Not to mention, you can always like have like 4 of these in your starting hand, which will make your Vivid stuff really good. So that's the deck. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to Bandit Magic, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.